Hello. Thank you for watching. I am becoming less of a fan of Pascal's wager than I used to be. I recently watched somebody using it. A very old, not very old, less than 10 years old dialogue that somebody had put on YouTube. They put it on YouTube a while back, but I watched it recently. And there was a question and answer session to this big dialogue in a big auditorium, and one of the people in the question and answer session brought up Pascal's wager. The reasons I have a problem with Pascal's wager, let's tell you what it is just in case you've never heard of it. Those Blaise or Blaine Pascal came up with it. Pascal's wager is, if Christianity is true, you should be a believer because you get great reward, heaven, bliss, if you're a believer, and hell if you're not a believer. But if there is no afterlife, everybody's getting nothing anyway. So if you get the same thing in the next life, whether you're a believer or not, if Christianity is not true. But if Christianity is true, you'll get worse if you're not a believer, great things if you're a believer. God looks on the heart. God cares why we do things. That's why in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said sometimes they have their reward. The people that wanted to be seen, and that was their motivation for doing things, they got their reward. So being a fake believer or going through the motions so you look like you're a believer is not going to work with God on Judgment Day. He's going to know what you were in your heart, and He's going to care. The other reason is this wager is the offers you're offered in Pascal's wager if you're a Christian. Well, the offers that are made, whether you're a believer or not, are based on traditional Christianity, which is not accurate completely. And so that's one weakness of the wager, or one reason I'm less of a fan of it. Maybe I would be a fan of a modified version of it. If you live a good, honorable life, but you're not a believer, God's got a place for you. That's better than the place that He's going to send murderers and people who are unchaste and liars. And that is the terrestrial kingdom. The terrestrial kingdom is not as good as the best place He's sending you. So that's why I would say maybe we should have a modified version of Pascal's wager. But the way people usually talk about Pascal's wager, I'm not a fan of because of that. Your options are not be a believer in Jesus and to go all the way in following Him to get great bliss, or literal physical burning torture. There is no literal physical burning torture that's lasting forever. Now, some people will have to pay for their own sins if they refuse to accept Jesus, but at some point the physical torture ends and they're just stuck in a place that's not so good, but still not as bad as the traditional Christian description of hell. And that is why I'm not so much a fan of Pascal's wager anymore, or I'm less of a fan than I used to be. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.